Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, August 26, 1789. In 1789, amid a France shaken by injustice, hunger, and the collapse of the old regime, the National Constituent Assembly proclaimed a document that would mark a before and after in the history of humankind. Inspired by the ideas of the Enlightenment and by the example of the American Revolution, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen was not just a political response. It was an act of conscience, a manifesto of principles that challenged centuries of privilege, hierarchy, and oppression. For the first time, it was written that all men are born free and equal in rights. For the first time, power had to submit to the law, and not the other way around. For the first time, liberty, property, security, and resistance to oppression ceased to be privileges and became universal rights. This document, born in turbulent times, crossed borders, inspired revolutions, and became a cornerstone of many modern constitutions. Today, more than 2 centuries later, its words still resonate with strength, and also with urgency. Preamble: the representatives of the French people, assembled in the National Assembly, considering that ignorance, forgetfulness, or contempt for the rights of man are the only causes of public misfortunes and of the corruption of governments, have resolved to set forth in a solemn declaration the natural, inalienable, and sacred rights of man, so that this declaration, constantly present to all members of the social body, may continually remind them of their rights and their duties, so that the acts of the legislative and executive powers, being capable of being compared at any moment with the purpose of every political institution, may be more respected, and so that the claims of citizens, henceforth founded on simple and incontestable principles, may always tend to the maintenance of the Constitution and to the happiness of all. Article 1. Men are born and remain free and equal in rights. Social distinctions may be founded only upon the common good. Article 2. The aim of all political association is the preservation of the natural and imprescriptible rights of man. These rights are liberty, property, security, and resistance to oppression. Article 3. The principle of all sovereignty resides essentially in the nation. No body or individual may exercise authority that does not expressly emanate from it. Article 4. Liberty consists in being able to do anything that does not harm others. Thus, the exercise of the natural rights of each man has no limits, except those which assure other members of society the enjoyment of these same rights. These limits may only be determined by law. Article 5. The law has the right to forbid only actions harmful to society. Whatever is not forbidden by law cannot be impeded, and no one may be forced to do what it does not mandate. Article 6. The law is the expression of the general will. All citizens have the right to take part, personally or through their representatives, in its formation. It must be the same for all, whether it protects or punishes. All citizens, being equal in its eyes, are equally admissible to all public dignities, offices, and employments, according to their ability, and without any distinction other than that of their virtues and talents. Article 7. No person shall be accused, arrested, or detained except in the cases determined by law and according to the procedures it has prescribed. Those who solicit, expedite, execute, or cause to be executed arbitrary orders shall be punished. But any citizen summoned or arrested in virtue of the law must obey at once. Resistance makes them culpable. Article 8. The law shall provide only for penalties that are strictly and evidently necessary, and no one shall be punished except under a law established and promulgated prior to the offense and legally applied. Article 9. Every person is presumed innocent until declared guilty, if it is deemed necessary to arrest them. Any unnecessary rigor that is not essential to securing their person must be severely punished by law. Article 10. No one shall be disturbed for their opinions, even religious ones, provided that their expression does not disturb the public order established by law. Article 11. The free communication of thoughts and opinions is one of the most precious rights of man. Every citizen may therefore speak, write, and print freely, provided they are responsible for any abuse of this freedom in cases determined by law. Article 12. The security of the rights of man and of the citizen requires a public force. This force is therefore instituted for the benefit of all, and not for the personal advantage of those to whom it is entrusted. Article 13. For the maintenance of the public force, and for the expenses of administration, a common contribution is indispensable. It must be equally distributed among all citizens in proportion to their ability to pay. Article 14. All citizens have the right to ascertain, by themselves or through their representatives, the necessity of the public contribution, to consent to it freely, to monitor its use, and to determine its amount, basis, collection, and duration. Article 15. Society has the right to require of every public agent an account of their administration. Article 16. Any society in which the guarantee of rights is not secured, nor the separation of powers determined, has no constitution. Article 17. Since property is an inviolable and sacred right, no one shall be deprived of it unless public necessity, legally determined, clearly demands it, and on condition of a just and prior indemnity.